My first review is of Yoshi's Crafted World. This game is extremely adorable and charming. Yoshi's story begins when baby Bowser and Kamek come to steal the Sundream Stone. This stone with its 5 gems can grant wishes. But during a struggle between the Yoshis and baby Bowser, the 5 gems get scattered across several islands. Then it is up to Yoshi to go and gather all of the gems before baby Bowser. The game follows classic Yoshi platforming. You run, flutter jump, and eat enemies which turn into eggs. You are then able to throw the eggs at objects in the foreground and background. The levels are gorgeous and cleverly designed. They look as though they are made up of crafting materials that a child has turned into a variety of objects, such as trains, rockets, and even giant Yoshis. One of the main goals while going through the levels is to collect flowers. There are quite a few ways to do this. One way is to find the flowers that are well hidden throughout the levels. You can also collect all of the red coins, the golden egg coins, or finish the level with full health. Once you complete each level, you unlock the flip side. This is where the level gets turned around and you play it backwards. The goal in this is to find 3 Poochie Pups, which gives you another flower. If you need even more flowers, you can go to the Blockerfellers who guard each world. Along the way, these guys will ask you for flowers before you can get past them. However, they will ask you to go on scavenger hunts for items and will give you flowers in return. Golden egg coins are also important to collect. You can use them to buy a variety of costumes. Not only are they ridiculously cute, but they serve as an armor so that less health is taken when you get injured. When it comes to gameplay, there are many pros and cons for someone who is legally blind. The first thing that was extremely helpful was being able to select the color of Yoshi. There are a variety of bright colors to choose from, which help make Yoshi easier to spot. The game is very relaxed, so you are able to wander around and explore. It takes me a minute to look around the screen to see everything that is happening. Since I'm able to take my time with it, I can figure out where the enemies are and their patterns. Something else that was helpful to me is when you are shooting the eggs at enemies or items, they are outlined in yellow and you hear a sound. Without this design, I would not have known if my targeting was on point. As an extra surprise, while I was playing, Nintendo added a fantastic update to the Switch, a zoom feature. This makes it possible to zoom in anywhere in the game and even keep it zoomed while playing. I used this feature quite a bit to read text throughout the game. This has changed my gaming experience in a very positive way. Like I mentioned before, the game is very bright and colorful, which for the most part is great. However, there were some colors that are very similar, and it made things blend together. Another issue I had was getting all of the flowers in the time challenges. Some of these include collecting all of the blue coins and eating all of the apples. The apple challenges always threw me off because I didn't see them right away, or I didn't see them at all. The blue coin challenges were easier for me to see, but were still difficult to complete. There are some other time challenges where the perspective changes and you have to aim at things in the background. These suck for me. It is not always the same, so you don't know what to expect. Sometimes you have to aim at small blue coins that are moving around, or enemies that pop in and out of sight. There are also times where you have to see the details on the faces of moving flowers and throw at the correct one. I was not successful in the majority of these challenges. As far as actual levels go, I only had issues with a few. One was Hoop Jump Hop, a timed level where you run and jump through a bunch of rings and hit clocks along the way to get more time. It took several retries to memorize where things were, but I finally got through it. I had a more difficult time with the on-rails levels, such as Skelosaurus Rex, Whistle Stop Rails, and Go-Go Yoshi. There was so much going on that it was hard for me to determine where I needed to be when to get the necessary items. I also had issues seeing the enemies and other objects that come at you. These levels also took a lot of retries and memorization. The worst levels for me, though, were Windward Way and Yoshi Pulls Some Strings. They are frustrating because you have to make precise jumps from one moving object to another. For instance, in Windward Way, you had to accurately jump from one flying Goonie bird to another to get to the next platform. After a while, I had to take a break and come back to it the next day. The other level I had to quit and come back to was Yoshi Pulls Some Strings. It is kind of similar to Windward Way, except in this one there are bobbers swinging back and forth and you have to jump on them. The thing is that when you land on them, you start bouncing. So while they are swinging, you are bouncing, and you have to work your way through the level without falling or getting hit by them. Up to this point, I had been playing the game on Classic Mode. Now was the time for Mellow Mode. Mellow Mode does several things. For one thing, it gives Yoshi wings. That way when you jump and hold A, you will fly. This was the best part of Mellow Mode for me. That way my jumps and landings didn't have to be so accurate, and I could get past more difficult obstacles. Then you have indicators when there is a flower nearby. You hear a sound and the controller vibrates. These indicators were very helpful when I had to go and get more flowers in order to unlock the next stage. Other perks are when you get hurt, Yoshi loses fewer hearts, and he gets more eggs when you eat enemies. Chris also joined me in co-op to go back and help me get some of the flowers I was not able to get on my own. We had a few problems with co-op. It is really easy to accidentally eat each other's Yoshi. Sometimes I wasn't aware I had even done this until Chris would say, "Hey, spit me out." It is also easy to end up riding on one another. When you want to do that, it's great, but it's really irritating when it just happens. We were able to work out a system where I rode on Chris's back and was in charge of shooting while he made our way through the level. The only real issues with that were he had to stop constantly so that I could aim at things, and he could not throw any eggs unless I jumped off. The only level we felt was better co-op was Go-Go Yoshi, where you roll through and punch everything. Other than that, co-op just felt chaotic. Even though I had some issues, I am proud to say that this is the first platformer I have ever successfully completed on my own. I don't think that would have been possible if not for the features provided by the game designers and Nintendo. All in all, I had a really great experience with Yoshi's Crafted World, and I highly recommend it. Thank you for watching my video. Please click the subscribe button below if you found it helpful.